previous session, we discussed about partial payments, right? And in today's session, let's jump to yes.
Sir, I just want to know that how that query was solved recording journal.
Okay. Rohit, the problem was you had created the company code and you had posted a couple of transactions, and later on
Yes.
you had created the controlling module, right? That is the
Yes.
controlling. Okay. So in real-time scenarios, we will do all those things simultaneously. We will create the company code settings and controlling area settings. Once the controlling area is done, then we will start posting the real-time transactions. But here,
Oh,
what system says is, in case if you post any financial transaction, and if you try to, assign that company code to the controlling area, we will have to update all the previous entries also, along with the new controlling areas. Okay, so that is why it was showing an error. Normally, this won't allow in the real times, but here, since it's a practice system, we will have to create a project in that name, and then we will have to update the entries. Okay.
okay. So you have created project, sir?
Yes, this is at the project level. We will have to create it a separate project, and then we will have to update the entries.
Okay, no worries.
It's all click of a button only. There's nothing, nothing technical, or there's nothing much on this. Whenever you get that issue, right? If you click on that error mark there, and the one that comes in red, right? It will only lead you to the solutions.
Okay. Done.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Let me start with the partial payments for the day. Okay, hope screen is visible. Let me quickly go and post an invoice in FP70. That is customer invoice. Change the company cost. This is AP25. Let's say invoice amount is 45,000 rupees. Let me come down to this GL and select one of the revenue account. So the invoice is posted. Let's go and check the same in FPL5N. Customer line item display. And let's say we want to go with all items with today's posting. AP25 is our company code. Okay, let me click on execute. So here you can see these are the postings for the day. Okay, ignore the other things, just concentrate on this one here. ADR document with the invoice. With the invoice amount of 45,000 rupees. Now, as discussed yesterday, your residual payment will come into picture whenever the posting payment amount is lesser than the invoice amount. Okay, let's assume out of this 45,000, we want to make a payment of 15,000 rupees. Okay, so I'll go to a new window here. And let's go with the transaction code F-28 for the payment posting. Okay, in F-28, let's start with document date, that is today's date. Clearing text, I will make this as being customer payment. Okay, customer payment residual. And let's say this is my bank account and just one moment. Okay, so this is my GL account, and let's say we want to post a payment of 15,000 rupees here. Okay, guys, let's continue. So this is our account amount here, 15,000. Let's come down to the value date. Let's say value date is 0903. Now again, let's select the customer number here. Okay, so now let's go with the process open items. And here, okay, there is some field which is mandatory. Value date is not permitted. Okay, let me remove this because this field is suppressed. And if I go with process open items, so there are so many invoices. Let me deactivate all and I will activate only this one here. Okay, I want to make a payment only for this 45,000 invoice. And now I want to go with the residue items. So either you can use partial or residue both whenever your payment amount is less than your invoice amount. And now we are going with residue amount. Let's click on this tab here. And here you can see there is a field called residual items here. As of now, it is empty. And here you can see not assigned is 30 and assigned amount is 45. If you double click on this residual item field, right, system will automatically pick up the balance value. That is 40,000 minus 50,000. So balance 30,000 will be appearing here and assigned amount becomes same as your payment amount and not assigned becomes 0. Okay, let me post this residual item here. Right, so the document is posted. Now, what is the impact of this is if you come back to your line item display, right? We had this open item, invoice open item for 45,000. Let me click on list and refresh. Okay, and along with this, your invoice amount of 45,000. Okay, this document for DR will be closed or will be cleared. Along with this, there is a new document which will be open for the balance amount only. And here you can see the document type DZ and the document number here and document number here will be C. Okay, so if you remember in the partial payments, system will keep all the items open till the full payment is cleared. Whereas if you go with residual payments, it will clear the original invoice and it will create a new invoice, okay, for the balance amount only with the open item status. Okay, this is the main difference. And now if you go back and clear the balance amount, and before that, if you look into these documents, right? So this was the payment document. If you double click on this, and here you can go with the document overview. And here you will see the third line item that is for 30,000 rupees, wherein your customer account will again be debited. Okay, so if you go with the residual item, the balance amount will be created as a new item, new open item. If you come back and check the other entry, this one here, 30,000, right? Let me open this. And here you will see the residual item field coming up. Okay, so why this 30,000 is created is because of the residual payment against this document number. So you can come back and check the residual items here. Okay, so now again, if you go back to your F-28, okay, and clear the balance payment. So I'll again come back to F-28, and this is again being customer payment received 2300, and the balance amount is 30,000. This is my customer number. Go with process open items. Let me deactivate all. And here you can see there is an invoice for 30,000 rupees only. And now, if you're settling this, I mean, in our case, I'm settling this payment. This is the final payment. Okay, I will settle it in standard tab only. Let me click on the execute option, sorry, post option. The document will be posted. Okay, so you will have something called as reason codes, which will be used alongside the residual payments, and even for partial payments also. You can create your own reason codes and tell the system that this is why we are accepting the part payment. Okay, so now if I come back to my line item display, okay, that is here, and click on refresh, the item will be automatically cleared here. Okay, this is about residual payments. Any questions?
Yes. No, sir.
All right. Now, after this, we'll move on to a new topic, which is called as payment terms. Okay. So in any business, payment terms is quite a common thing. Payment term is nothing but kind of a conditions or an agreement or a mutual understanding with your vendors and customers and the business. Okay. And as I said, the payment terms will you can have your payment terms for your customers and vendors both. Now, I'll just take you through an example of a vendor. So let me go with company code and assign this company code AP25. So let me select one of the suppliers in AP25. Let's go with the invoice date, that is today's date, and amount, let's say 20,000, and let me select a GL code here. Okay, and here we will go and select the GL. Purchases account. Let's assign the and here you can see in the system, right? We have something called as payment terms here, which says due immediately. Okay. So as of now, we have not assigned any payment terms to our vendor. Hence, it says due immediately. Okay. See, all your payment terms, right, will be defined on the baseline date. Here you can see there's something called as baseline date in the payment tab. And this is the date which will help you out in calculating the due dates. Okay, so if I say payment terms, right, we are talking about due dates. You will have a lot of customers and vendors with you, and you will have your own repos maintained. Okay, let's say we have a vendor who was giving us a credit time of 45 days or 30 days. He's telling us, you buy it now and you pay to me later or after 30 days or within 30 days. Okay. At the same time, you will also have something called as discounts which are off. If you make the payment within 10 days, I can give you 5% discount. If you're making the payment within 20 days, I can give you 2% discount. Like this, you will have lots of terms and conditions, out of which, with the help of payment terms, we will be dealing with the due dates and the discounts. Okay, so here you can see for any due dates calculation, baseline date is the base, or this is very important. Now, since it says 0903, right? And that is why here it says deal immediately. Okay, let's go with payment and change it here to 10th of March. If I change this baseline date, right? See here in basic data, it will give you the due on base date, and here you can see baseline data has changed. Okay, and at the same time, we will have payment terms which can be assigned here. We will see how to create that very shortly. Okay, this is where you will assign the payment terms. Just remember that. Now let me post this invoice. Just one moment. Okay, see, I have posted this document, right? Let me go to, okay, this is, if you remember, now I've used posting baseline data as 10th, right? I will post another invoice, okay, with the baseline date as today's date only. Okay, let's say this is for 75,5301 as the GL and 75,000 here. So if I go with payment, and here you can see baseline date is 0903. Let me post this. So the document is posted, and if you go with FBL1N, vendor line item display. In the line item display, I'll go with AP25, all items with today's date and execute. Okay, so here you can see the difference. So 20,000 we posted with baseline date as tomorrow's date, and here you can see net due date, and you can also look at this column called due date column. Okay, and this means it is not due, and this means it is due immediately. Let me show you that also. See, if I take the cursor here, right, it says it is not due, and it says here it is due. Okay, so this is one of the basic purpose of creating the payment terms. And if it is one or two invoices, you can do it manually like this, right? If there are n number of invoices, definitely we need a mechanism like payment terms to dictate the terms and conditions. Okay, now to create the payment terms, start with this T code called OBP8. Okay, in OBP8, if you want, you can use the existing ones, and remember all your payment terms are at the client level. Okay, you can use the existing payment terms, or you can also create your own payment terms based on the requirements. Okay, what happened to this again? Right, so here you can see there are a lot of payment terms which are already available. If you want to use the available ones, you can use it. If not, you can go and create the new payment terms here. So if I start with new entries, right, I will give a name for my payment term as AP25. And sales text, I will just name this as AP25 again. And there are other options like delimit, which is not required. come down to the explanation, and this is my explanation. So I'm setting up a payment terms, which says if there is a payment which is done within 14 days, you get 5% discount. Payment within 21 days is 3% discount, and payment within 30 days, I mean, beyond the 21 days, there is no discount, but you will have to clear it within 30 days. Okay, and any payment term that you create, you can assign it either against a customer or even against the supplier based on your selection. If you select only customer here, which means this payment term will be used only against customer. If you select supplier, this means you will use it only against supplier. If you select both, which means your payment terms can be used both at the customer level and the supplier level. Okay, and if you come down to this baseline date calculation, if there's any fixed days, you can go with the fixed days like 7th of every month, 15th of every month. You can set those things along with the additional months. If not, you can come down to this default baseline date. Okay, so my default baseline date is posting date, which means whenever you're posting a document, the date in the posting date will be the base to calculate your due dates. If you want, you can also select document date or entry date also. Okay, entry date means you will key in manually, and in no default also, system will ask you what is the baseline date. Okay, so the best one is, let's go with either the document date or the posting date. Come down to the payment terms here. So let's start with the percentage fields. And here you can see, I've told the system that 5% is 14 days, right? So I will mention the same thing here. 5% 14 days, 3% 21 days, and 30 days net. Okay, see, this is only for our eyes. Okay, for us to understand. By looking at this explanation, I can grab the things. And the fields that we are entering here, this is purely for the system sakes. Okay, so system will always go by the values that you have entered here. Once this is done, saved. Okay, so my payment term is ready. Now you can assign this payment term at the invoice level. Just now I showed you, right, in FB60 or FB70. So this is a supplier code, date, let's say amount is 1000, and this is GL code of 5301, and here also it is 1000. And if I go with payment tab here, I can assign my payment terms here, AP25, and enter. Then system will give you a warning like this: terms of payment to be changed, please check. Again, hit the enter button. This looks fine. Okay, so now if I go to basic data here, and you will see the explanation that we had set. One explanation that we had written, right? So that will be appearing here. Let me post this. Done. Document is posted. And if you go back to your line item display, right? Let me go over to the transaction code FBL1N, enter. So I'll go with all items with today's date and execute. So here you can see the new item for 1000 rupees. Okay. And you can also see the net due date here, 0804-2025. If you open this, here you will see the payment terms, AP25, percentage, days, and everything. Okay. So now, if there are one or two invoices, fine, you can do it manually. And obviously, in a real time, you will have a lot of end users and multiple invoices that are posted on a daily basis. Okay. In order to help the system in picking up this payment terms automatically, Okay, we will have to assign this at the master data. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go with the transaction code called BP. In BP, I'll go and find the supplier. So let me open the supplier master data. And now we will go with FLVN00, that is the company code segment. Open this company code, and if you go with vendor payment transactions here, right here you can see terms of payment. So we are in the display mode. I will change the mode. Now here I'll be able to assign the terms of payment and save it. Okay. So see your so terms of payment can be assigned under the company code segment, purchasing segment, and sales and distribution segment. As of now, we are entering it at the FI segment, that is company code segment. Now, what happens with this is if you go with FB60, let's again go with the same supplier date. Let's say the amount is 10,000, and here I go with some normal expenditure GL and 10,000. Okay, so let me hit the enter button. And here you can see system would have automatically picked up the payment terms here. And if you click on the payment tab here, and here you can see AP 25, 14 days, 21 days, 30 days, 5% and 3%. Okay, this is how system will automatically pick up the payment terms. And if you want to change this at the invoice level, you can change it. Okay, before posting and even after posting also, you can change the payment terms here. Okay, let me go and post this invoice. Done. In the same way, if you want to change it for customer, I mean, if you want to assign the payment term for customers, go with again same transaction code BP. Let's go by the customer number here. And here, let's go with search and enter. Let's go and select the customer, existing customer here. And in this existing customer list, okay, so again, let's go with FLCO00 here. And in the company code, let's go with customer payment transaction. And here we will assign the payment term called AP25. And then save this. Okay, so after saving the master data, if you go back to your transaction code FP70 and check that in FP70, let me pick up the customer number. I don't remember the number. Okay, one moment. Okay, and let's say the amount is somewhere around 50,000 rupees. And here, let me select this GL4001 and here also 50,000. So now what happens? System should automatically pick up this payment terms here. And if you click on payment tab, here you will find the same payment term called AP25. Okay, let me click on this post button. The document will get posted. Okay, and what is the impact of this? If you go with FBL 5N and check the line item display, you will see these items when under the not due date fields. Okay, so here you can see this is not due. Okay, this is about payment terms, due date. Any questions? Do let me know.
No, sir, not as of now. No questions.
Okay, now we are done with the due dates, right? We got to understand how the due dates work with the payment terms. And as I told you, we also have another part within this, that is the discounting part. Okay, so let's assume that we want to make a payment for this today. Okay, so if I go with F dash 28, F28 to post the incoming payment. Okay, I'm just showing you how the discounts would automatically pop up. So this is your document date. And let's say this is our customer payment, GL code 2300. And let's say 50,000 is the amount. And this is my customer number. If I go with process open items, right? So there are so many items. I will deactivate all and activate only this invoice. Okay, so if you look at this document which we posted just now, here you can see system is automatically picking up the discount of 5%. Okay, and if you want to change this manually, you can change it. Say for example, finally the vendor has agreed to give us a discount of only 1,500 rupees. You can manually change this here. Okay, while posting. See here, if I say 1,500, automatically this percentage column gets updated. And now let's say he has agreed for a 4% discount instead of 5%. Now I'll just say 4 here and hit the enter button, and automatically the amount will be adjusted here. Okay, so discount is getting popped. And if you want, you can change the date. Now we are using this posting date as today's date, right? Let me use the date after, sorry, I've used the wrong date. /n F-28. If you want to do the testing, right? 0903 instead of 0903. So after 14 days, it's somewhere around 25th of March, right? So let me change the date here. Document date and posting date. Same GL, same amount. Then comes your customer number. And if you go with process open items, right? It normally says that check the document date is in the future. You're fine with this, just hit the enter button. It will take you to the next window. And here you can see, based on your posting date, it is automatically changing the discount percentages. Okay, so system will automatically take care of the discounts as well. Any questions?
No, sir. No.
All right. So the next thing is, after you give the discount, right? If you try to post, say for example, I want to post this entry. So I will deactivate all the invoice and let me activate only this one. Okay. First thing is there is a difference, 1,500 rupees. And what is this difference? This is nothing but the discount. Okay. And why am I getting this differences? See, I have entered the payment amount as 50,000 rupees instead of 48,500. So I will have to correct this. So let me copy this amount, go back, and system will give you the bank line item. So this was my wrong entry, right? Instead of 48,500, I had put this as 50. So I will double click on this and correct it here. 48,500 is the actual payment that we are receiving now. Okay, so let me go with process open items. And here you can see it is completely balanced. And now, even now, if you try to post, system will not post this. It says account determination is missing. Okay, so the reason is very simple. See, you will have to account each and every rupee in your systems. Okay, we told the system that there is a discount of 1,500 rupees, but system is asking us to which GL should I post this amount. Okay, so in order to direct the system to pick up the GL, we will have to do something called as account determination. Okay, we will create a GL for the discount received, and we will ask the system to use that GL. So what I'll do is I'll come back to another window here, and let me start with FS00, and in FS00 for AP25, right? I want to create a GL account for cash discount given. Okay, now this is the customer part. We are trying to give the discount to the customer. He was supposed to pay us 50,000. Instead, he's paying us only 48,500, and 1,500 rupees is to be treated as discount given. So I will go and create that discount given account here under other expenses. I'll go with create GL code 5302, and this is my non-operating expense, and this is part of my other expenses here, and I will name the text as discount given account. Go with controlled data here. I will go with the sort key 001, that is posting date, create bank interest G001. If you want, you can also select this option post automatically so that there is no manual intervention, and save it here. Okay, so after creating the GL, we will have to do the account determination. Nothing but we will tell the system, use this GL for any discount that you give. Okay, so if you go by the path SPRO, ACP reference IMG, come down to your financial accounting, account receivables and payables, go with business transactions, and you're talking about incoming payments, right? So go with incoming payments here, incoming payment global settings, and here you can see the not defined accounts for cash discount granted. Okay, and the transaction code for this is OBXI. Okay, so click on execute. System will ask you the chart of account, name it as AB25, and here click on save. It will ask you the GL, and here we will go and assign the discount given account. Okay, discount given account 5302, and save it. Okay, so this is done. We will come back to the window where we're posting the entry, right? This one here, payment posting part. And now if I click on document and simulate GL, right? So here you can see the discount given account, which will be debited. Okay, so your sundry debtors account, that is the customer account, will be credited with 48,000. Then comes your bank account and discount account, discount given account, 48,500 and 1,500. So a discount given will be considered as your expenditure in your business. Okay, so that is why we are debiting this. Let me come back and post the entry here. Let me click on this post button. The document will be posted. Okay, any questions on this discount given?
No, sir.
In the same way, we will have to create a GL for the discount given as well. So the discount received as well. Okay, so I'll go with FS 00. And we've got revenue from operations, right? I just create a GL under this. Create GL code 4002, company code AP25, GL account type non-operating expenses, account group revenue from operations, and I will name this as discount received account. Okay, so this will be used at the vendor level. Whenever you are making the payment for the vendor and if they are giving any discount, then the system will post the entry to this GL. So control data, I will go with sort key here and create bank interest. We will go with G001, post automatically only, and save it here. Okay. So after creating the GL, you can go with SPRO, or if you want, you can also use the transaction code OBXU. Okay, SPRO, SAP reference IMG. Come down to your financial accounting, account receivables and payables, business transactions. And now we will go with outgoing payments and outgoing payments global settings. And here you can see the node which says define accounts for cash discount taken, and the transaction code will be OBXU. Okay, so get into this, assign your chart of account, then click on this. Okay, AB25. I think I am on the display mode. Okay, one moment. I will go and quickly clear this in the other window. So after clearing it, it will take you to the window like this. Okay, so SKE is the standard transaction key. Click on save and then assign the GL here. So the GL code will be discount received account 4002 and save. Okay, so this configuration is done. Now, if you go to FB F-53, okay, I think we had posted a couple of invoices with the discount, right? So let's go and use that in F-53. Let's start with the document date, and this is our vendor payment account number. Let's say some random amount, we will change it later, 50,000. and the vendor number, I think 15518. Wrong number for vendor. Let me pick up from here only. Four zero four 001. And now if you go with process open items, so there are so many invoices. I will deactivate all of them, and let's say we want to proceed ahead with this invoice of 20,000 rupees and with a discount of 500. Okay, so this is the actual amount that we will have to pay to the vendor. Let me copy, go back, double click on the line item and change it here. So once this is done, if you click on process open items, right? So here you can see the entry 9,500 is the actual amount paid, 500 rupees is the discount. So now if I click on document and simulate GL, so here is the entry wherein your discount received account will be credited with this amount of 500 rupees. Okay, so let me go and post the entry here. Okay, so this is about your payment terms, which includes due dates and discounting. And we have also included the account determinations for the discount.